Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Jim back again with another vlog, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be talking over the footage that I filmed yesterday for my family's trip to the Indianapolis Zoo. I went, my girlfriend went, and then her daughter also went. And here we are leaving the parking lot. We just had some breakfast at the local Taco Bell in our hometown. Got a bacon, egg, and cheese quesadilla, and it was really, really good. And now we're heading out and turning on to US 41 to head to Indianapolis. Now, we went to the Indianapolis Zoo mainly because it's like the biggest zoo in Indiana, but also because, it was Earth Day yesterday when we went. And we thought, oh, this could be a fun thing to do. And with it being Wednesday, we kind of just assumed, that foot traffic would be low and whatnot. But you'll soon see that was kind of a mistake there. But here we are, and we're now turning on to 41, and I was actually quite surprised with how well capturing footage this way was. I used my little mount that I have in the car, and I had my girlfriend hit record and hit stop, so that way I could get some driving footage. And of course, I'll be probably uploading this footage without my commentary in a future video somewhere down the road. But yeah, it was a very, very nice day, and we enjoyed it immensely. So here we now are getting onto from 41, US 41, onto Interstate 70. Now, I have always enjoyed, driving on the interstate, just because I like traveling. I had mentioned in a previous vlog here on the channel that I've recently kind of rediscovered my love of travel and the outdoors and whatnot. And any chance I have to get on Interstate 70, is just fun for me. I enjoy, sitting in the car, listening to my audiobook or maybe my smooth jazz, or even just talking to my girlfriend as we and her daughter as we are, driving down the interstate and just having a relaxing time and really enjoying, the scenery, of of the interstate. Now, there is some local stuff that has come up recently that I'm not a huge fan of, and that is the recent announcement that they were planning on adding toll roads to Interstate 70, which I am just not a fan of because, for example, if I were to travel to, say, my birth town, my hometown, Richmond, Indiana, it would take probably about 15 extra dollars, just to do that, because the toll roads aren't just going to be in the Indianapolis area. They're planning to put them across all of I-70 in the state, and I think that is just kind of silly. They say it's to help improve the roads, but I really don't see that ultimately helping, because I feel like infrastructure is not really something the current leadership in Indiana is really actually concerned with. Because if you're a Indiana local, you will know that road conditions all over the state, whether it's a state road like this or even if it's just city roads, they can be pretty messed up. Now, thankfully, where we live, we recently got a new mayor, and they're actually, helping the problem. But it just is just a little annoying, and it's a small inconvenience for sure, but it's still annoying. All right, and now here we are at the entry gate for the Indianapolis Zoo. Yeah, so it was a very surprising day here at the zoo. There was a field trip crowd there, and there was easily like 10 school buses there, and it was all a bunch of like elementary and maybe some middle school aged kids. And when we were here at the aquatic center, which is my particular favorite portion because I love sea creatures and all that, it was particularly loud. And my girlfriend, was getting some really bad headaches due to the screaming of the kids, because some of them were really, really loud. Like you would think someone was, trying to end them, based on how they were screaming. But we still made the most out of it, and we really took the time to really enjoy the sea creatures. You can see here some sharks and some other kinds of fish, and it was just really, really cool. Normally, it'd be something really chill and relaxing, but with all the screams, it was very, very, disruptive. But that's why I muted the actual footage. That way you don't have to deal with that, and put on some of my smooth jazz music there for you to enjoy. And well, now I'm back, and this was a little stingray petting exhibit they had. It was pretty cool. You could, reach down and pet the stingrays and interact with them, and it was really cool. I personally didn't do it, just because I really couldn't get really this much closer, and neither did my girlfriend's daughter. But we still had a good time. And then they had these really cool displays, of different shark facts, talking about, Jaws and its impact, and also just like some stuff about, the scale of sharks and what shark was best in, particular categories. And then, of course, we found the little displays that had like clownfish, and there were some starfish in there. That was pretty cool. And of course, whenever the little kids would get in there, they'd be like, "Oh, that's Nemo! That's Nemo! And look, there's Dory!" And that was cute. And they also had these cool little seahorses and whatnot. One of my favorite things was seeing the seals and the sea lions. I always found them to be pretty cool animals, and just seeing them swim and glide in the water was just fun to see. While there, we also saw some penguins. They were, swimming about and just having a good time standing there. There's a little website URL there that you can actually pay and have them feed them fish live. There was a worker there cleaning the various tanks and whatnot. And what was cool is, both tanks are connected by a pathway underneath, and you can actually see the penguins swim by under you, which was really cool. There was a couple, swimming very close to us in particular, and it was just kind of cool to see them. And I do enjoy penguins as well, but they do stink really, really bad. I felt really bad for that worker. After that, we went and saw some of the monkeys that were nearby, and some of them were kind of active, But this particular section began a trend where the animals were constantly, using the bathroom, and I didn't catch really any of it because no one wants to see that unless you're like really screwed up. But yeah, there was just a lot of bathroom activity going on today, which was kind of funny. And then, of course, we went and saw the walrus, which had its own tank, and he was just swimming around and enjoying himself. And I believe there was another walrus in there too. The glass was kind of scuffed up, so I assume that just assume. But over here, the orangutan exhibit was closed, but we came to this area and we found this little guy here, just kind of sleeping and hanging out, and it was just kind of cute to see. Every time I'd see an orangutan or a chimp, I'd go, apes together, strong. So I kind of went dressed up as the Mando hunter from my recent episode of Knights of the Old Republic. So I was very excited to see the alligators and the crocodiles. They were just kind of there hanging out, and it was just kind of cool to see, really. After that, we just kind of walked around the savannah section and saw a bunch of different animals. There were zebras, elephants, gazelle, and my girlfriend was really excited to see the giraffes, but they didn't have them out. But fortunately, we did find them on a train ride, which is offered. And actually, here comes the train pulling up here in the footage. We're not in line for that. We decided to come back around and check it out as we were heading back to the dolphin show later. Here are some rhinos. They were, just kind of enjoying the cold mud, and just trying to relax on a pretty hot day. These were one of them was another animal that just decided to, you know, use the bathroom while we were there. But fortunately, I had stopped recording before that happened. We stopped to have a small lunch, and while we were there, we saw a red cardinal, which is the state bird of Indiana. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, we went back around and saw the lion from a different angle, which was really cool. As we kept going, we went around, saw some different birds. We saw these turkey-like birds whose name is escaping me now since I'm recording this the next day. But then after that, we went and saw the flamingos, which, in case you didn't know, are normally white birds, but they become pink based on their diet of shrimp and krill, which dyes their feathers pink, which I always found was pretty cool. And then from there, we went to this walk around bird section, which you could see different kinds of birds, which was really cool. Then from there, we went and saw the chimpanzees, which are always really cool. And, once again, had to say, apes together strong. So that was kind of fun. And then after that, we went on the train. Now, the train was actually pretty reasonably priced. It was $4 a ticket, which given it's a travel destination. That was fairly reasonable, a lot more reasonable than the food, which is why I'm glad we brought our own food. But yeah, the train was pretty fun. My only complaint is that I'm kind of a bigger guy, and I did not fit that well. Now, in terms of my gut and whatnot, that was fine, but it was more so the leg room. I'm pretty tall, and I just didn't have a whole lot of room to stretch my legs and whatnot, and I was pretty much a pretzel in there the whole time. the train was pretty cool, and we got to see, that they grow a lot of their food for the animals. So a lot of it is made in house, which was really cool. And my girlfriend in particular was really excited because she got to see her giraffes, which we happened to pass by their particular pen, where they were being kept to clean, and I assume feed and whatnot, which is why they weren't out on display. In fact, here they are right now. She was really, really excited about that. After the tigers, we saw the bears, and I really am a big fan of bears. They're really cool, and they're definitely a dangerous animal. You don't want to be anywhere near them out in the wild. But they're just kind of cool to sit around and watch. These bears kind of reminded me of Cheeseburger, who is a bear companion you can have in the video game Far Cry 5. And of course, they had an American bald eagle there, which, in case you didn't know, was the national bird for the United States. Then finally, we went into the Dolphin Dome, where we got to see the dolphins, and then we went to see the dolphin show. But we were in the splash zone, so I didn't get a chance to record it. But that was our day at the zoo. Have you ever been to the Indianapolis Zoo? Let us know down below. And what are some of your favorite zoo destinations? Because I'd love to see other zoos in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.